Hello. Today I'm going to show you one of the ways we can break our SQL code. For this demo, we're going to use this screen. We have a block showing open tickets. Looking into the code, we have this output structure. Let's use a scenario where we remove an attribute because it's not relevant anymore. Let's remove the modified on. Let's publish that change and see how our screen behaves now. We have successfully broken our SQL code. So now what can we do to avoid that? If we go back into our code and to our output structure, before doing any changes, we need to see the usage of the structure. I then usually sort it by the element and sort it by descending order. I will see the places where this structure is used as an output structure. Let's go inside the SQL and see what's going on. If you look closely to the list of attributes being selected, we see that we are still selecting the attribute we removed. What our code is trying to do is it gets the data and store it in the next available attribute. In this case, the SLA label, which is a text data type. Same with the succeeding selected attributes, causing a mismatch in the data type, causing our broken SQL. Another thing to note is that whenever we do this kind of changes, a warning is presented to us. It is saying that there's a mismatch between the number of selected columns and the output structure that we have in our SQL. So this is very easy to spot if you have a few warnings, but it tends to become very tricky if you have a lot of warnings in your application. Going back to our SQL, we can also test this. Similar to the error that we have on the screen, we are presented an error. So now let's try to fix this. All we need to do is to remove the selected attribute from our query. And now let's test that change. So now it's working. Let's try to test it on our page. Now it's working as expected. Same concept applies whenever we are adding a new attribute or updating an existing attribute of a structure. With this behavior in mind, we must always be mindful when changing structures, specifically if it's being used as an SQL's output structure. Always make sure that you check usages before making any updates on the structures to avoid breaking our SQLs.